Good morning, everybody. Happy NFC Championship Sunday. We are live from Delaware County with myself, Pat Bernard, the producer himself, House of Fury, and a man, I got a bone to pick with you, sir, but I'm still going to give you the proper respect just for now. Mike Lauro. Good morning, Mike.
I see you're color coordinated today anyway.
Color-ish.
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 I mean, come on, could you have been? I mean, God, you should have
I think if you put a little orange on here, you could be a Dolphins fan, I think, at this point.
I mean, do you own anything Eagles? Like
I got a lot of things, related to the birds.
No.
Yeah.
You already know the rule.
I
already know the rule.
Yeah, yes.
Look,
I forgot
not
where
even 30 seconds in, Al, he's got to have a bird reference.
Yes, I do. I mean, that's my fair squad.
He always starts every morning off with a bird.
I probably wear
hand,
yes,
bird in hand.
I probably wear birds on my chest. You know what I mean?
There's plenty. I'm done.
What you doing?
Making this too easy. I'm walking away from it. It's like he's setting me up for it. I'm walking away.
What you do on your Saturday nights is your business, buddy. We're here to talk about
Hey,
sports.
let's
Let's get into it, you fraud.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
well, we're going to get into that. Here goes my man Sean Kilray kicking off the morning. Our first comment right here. What's up, guys? One guy didn't get the memo. It's going to be a great golf. Oh, come on. Start with the golf jokes there, Sean. Jesus. So anyway, let's get started.
Let me ask you a question first. Much golf shirts do you own? Do you even play golf? And mini golf don't count.
Well, really?
Yeah. I mean, you seem like a guy who likes driving balls. I'm just saying.
Don't worry. I got no problem driving the long balls.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But but I figured I just had to put it out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, look, as much as Joe Sullivan owns jerseys, I own golf shirts.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I'm that kind of guy.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I know. I wear a lot of stuff like that. But anyway, look, Mike, I want to, as much as I want to dive with you in the, this whole thing that busted open this past week, I'm gonna get into that. But before I do, let's talk some Philly sports because last night a Flyers team that went 1-7 in overtime, the worst in the league, responded to a team that came in their house last week, and they went in their house last night. They went to Winnipeg and took care of the Jets, and a guy who I've been highly criticized of, called him Carter Wentz and all this other stuff. 40 for 40 shots, nothing went by the man. Good team play in hockey. I mean, that's the way you want to go.
I believe he's the seventh goalie in all time in franchise history to stop 40 plus goals or 40 goals or more in a single game in a shutout. Well,
yeah. I mean, look, I got to give the credit where credit's due. Carter Hart played very, very well last night. A good all around team hockey. I mean, good defense. Good,
Dude, that typical was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was nice.
I'm really starting to. He's really. I'm really liking that, man. If you're looking, like, we got him in a Giroux trade,
and then nobody really knew what they were getting with him. They were just like, "What? I wouldn't tip it."
Like, what? Yeah. That's it. But a friend of mine who's kind of follows the Panthers, and he was like, "Dude, he's like, you're really gonna like this kid. He's like, he's gonna turn out to be one of your core guys coming in."
And to a guy we've been highly criticized on, Ristolainen actually set up the pass twice.
He's becoming quite the facilitator. I have to give him credit where credit's due.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot better too. Yeah, his plays really picked. I mean, he gets the Kings too. He he had a nice goal.
He was again, he was against the boards at 201. He finds Owen Tippin right in front of the net all by himself. Nice thing there, nice pass. He cashes it in, and then all of a sudden he finds Tony DeAngelo all by himself, wide open, and he passes that puck. Like you say, good read on the defense, good vision, passing to Tony DeAngelo all alone, and banks one in there. And your Philadelphia Flyers went 4-0 yesterday.
4-9. I mean, and to shut out a team like the Jets. I mean, the Jets are a pretty good team, man.
The second team in the Western Conference. And you go in their house and smack them around. I mean, they're coming off a loss themselves, so you would figure, against Buffalo, you would figure that they would come in with some more energy. And no, it was the opposite around. It was the Flyers who came off, a great team win. They had, like I said, off that tough, battle with the Minnesota Wild. I mean, fights all over the place. And then, like I said,
in 16 seconds, 3 fights.
Yeah,
I covered that. I was doing the article for that game, and I'm like, I spent about 3/4 of that article talking about the fights, and then, oh, by the way, and then paragraph said, let's get to the hockey action.
And I believe McEwen got actually injured in one of the fights.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's just like, you know,
He got caught. He got
Yeah.
caught.
yeah.
I heard he needed to get his mouth wired.
See, Wade Allison's fight, he had it smart. He got the guy to just throw him against the boards and threw him to the ground. Like he didn't go fist to fist. He's just like, I'm just going to throw him down.
Yeah.
Old fashioned hockey. That looked like old fashioned Flyers hockey. That game looked
And
like.
it definitely was last night. That's what you want to see. I mean, but again, like last night they answered the bell. They're bringing kids up. They brought that kid Keith Billow, I believe
Bellows.
Yeah, Kiefer
Bellows.
Bellows. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
scores a goal.
He scores a
How
goal.
about
I
that?
mean,
The only other person I know named Kiefer.
Kiefer, yes.
I mean, like
A weird name, man.
It's
I cannot think of Kiefer Sutherland.
and hey, listen, it was a good pickup. They obviously took him from the Islanders, and they saw something in him. So hey, listen, with a win like that, man, and like I said, you're going to the All-Star break at 500, sitting only
Listen,
6 points out.
That's a plus. I really do, and
Is it?
it is.
At
I
this
mean,
point,
as
is
much
it?
as people are looking at it. Matty B said something last night on the post game where he said,
And thanks, Patty B, for doing double duty last night.
yeah,
he's
We
an
were all
animal.
busy last night. I was taking out the wife to a nice seafood dinner, and he stepped up for me.
Yeah, he comes up big.
I took my wife out to a nice tater tot dinner. She had chili tater tots last night.
Chili's.
Actually, she made it for me. Actually, so I'm not even gonna lie there.
She
But-
didn't even take you. She took you out.
Yeah,
You got it right then, man. You're doing it right. I'm the one taking out. You should.
Nah.
Take me out.
I owe my wife a big weekend getaway somewhere of her choice.
My
Definitely
wife
do.
just threw my 40th birthday party and surprised me. And that's not an easy feat to do, so I have to give her credit.
Yeah, Pat, you're getting close to that.
Keep waiting. But anyway,
Can't wait to see this purple shirt he's wearing that day.
I'll get purple nipples before I get a purple shirt. But anyway,
Oh, I thought he had one of them little animals things on his golf shirt.
Alex Fuchsia. What's wrong with you? Get it right.
yes. But and then like I said, the Flyers do such a good number. That Conor Hellebuyck, whatever you want to call him, he comes in there. It's supposed to be like one of the premier goaltenders in the league, and he gets ones up getting pulled. And they brought in Mike Ritchie, the goaltender who's 5-0 against the Flyers, and that really didn't do anything for him.
Nah, listen,
The game was over.
Yeah, it was. But my takeaway from the game is this: they played strong, fundamental defense in front of Carter Hart last night.
Yes.
Again, look at the Flyers when they play fundamental defense, okay, and they're clearing rebounds out the way where he's only facing one shot. If he gives up a rebound, the rebound's getting knocked to the side. Okay, it's a long night for the opposition. When they don't do that, that's when Carter Hart gets in trouble. If you watch the game against the Kings, both of those Kopitar goals, the one goal, he came around the net, and Carter Hart was just late getting over to the other side. That's lack of communication.
And I did watch, you do the post game show for that. And, again, what killed them too was a lot of trips to the sin bin. They only had 4 last night, 2 in the third back to back, wasn't great, but still for Carter Hart to hold his own like that. I mean, like I said, I got to give credit.
What were they on the power play last night? Because I didn't see what were they on the power play last night? Did they get a power play goal?
I'll tell you right now.
I don't think
because that's an area where they're struggling.
Yeah, on power plays.
They are definitely struggling.
Well, that's what killed them against the Wild game.
Yeah, and that's what killed them against
Winnipeg the other night too.
You need to come up. You need to come up with a good power play unit because special teams for that. I mean, you have to come up with something.
Now their penalty kill, it hasn't been that bad. I mean, they gave up the one. They gave up the one in the Kings game. I don't know. Like I said,
and they lead the league in shorthanded goals.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Are they still at 9?
I believe they're still at 9. So I mean, again, this is good signs to head into the also as Flyers sitting at 500, 6 point out of the wild card spot.
Listen, I got a friend of mine who's a Leafs fan. He watches all hockey.
Right.
He said to me last night, he was like, "Listen, dude," he's like, "Your team," he goes, "You guys got a young core there." He goes, "I know it's not what you want." He said, "But that Flyers team's going to be scary in about a year or 2."
Yeah.
And he was like, "If
they were both 0 for, the Flyers were 0 for 2, and Winnipeg, the Jets were 0 for 3.
Okay, so that's what it was. Okay, so because, like I said, I know they've been having trouble scoring on the power play. They got to get that fixed. If they can get that fixed, Pat, I'm telling you, like it's not in the realm to believe that they won't be able to make a playoff run. And I know that's not what we want to hear, There's our boy Dave Yarnell saying,
What's
good
up,
morning.
Dave?
What's up, Dave?
He's here for the fireworks.
Yeah, well, just have your popcorn ready. Look, get your popcorn, eat your breakfast because that's coming. But anyway,
Speaking of Pop-Tart, go ahead, Pat.
I can't fight back on that one.
Yeah, it was a
No,
good
but,
one.
hey,
that was
look,
pretty good.
you can't argue with the truth.
Yeah. So anyway, but like I said, the Flyers looked really, really solid last night. And whether, like you said just now, Mike, whether people like to believe it or not, hey, listen, they could make a run out of this. And I get it's early. It's now late January. You still got about 2 more good solid months of hockey. Can they make it? Do you want to see them? A lot of people.
They also had a murder's row schedule too.
Yeah.
In the first half too. I mean, they did. Like the who's who of hockey was kicking the crap out of them at the beginning of the season. So,
Right. I mean, again, they look good against bad teams. They,
well,
but
listen,
Well,
they look decent.
Well, now listen. There's 3 tiers of teams I have right now, or
okay.
maybe even 4. There's bad teams, there's mediocre teams, there's good teams, and then they get your elite teams like Boston, right?
Right.
Yeah. And they look good against bad teams. They look okay against mediocre teams. They squeak by some good teams, and they get handled by the elite teams.
Right.
Handled.
But listen,
That's why I say is the winning really good, but
no, here's the thing. Like Al, like you'll see some of my friends or some people that I know, like that guy Insane. That's only when he pops in, he'll be the first one to tell you. He'll be like, "Look, Boston can win as many games as they want. Like they're kind of like with the Bruins as we are with the Sixers here.
okay.
So they're like, until you get past the second round, show me something because
They've gotten past the second round. I mean, they've won how many championships, the Bruins, in the last 20 years?
but
only one cup.
Only one?
Only one cup.
Okay.
But I mean, but they're a constant playoff. They're always favored in the playoffs. So like they're not even buying it. I keep telling them
that's why everyone looked at me crazy. But I said, listen, the hot team during a regular season is completely different come regular playoffs time, and that's why I want to see and I get it, everyone wants to tank for the Conor, and I get it. He's a generational player, and I get all that. But if you get into the dance, you know what I mean? You don't know what can happen.
Well, the problem with the NHL is most of the teams get into the dance. There's only like 3 or 4 teams from
Right.
but what's it, two teams or 3 teams from each division? So you're looking at like 12 teams that don't make it, but the rest of the teams do make it.
Right, but my point is, if the Flyers get in there and they play the Boston Bruins, and everyone thinks they don't got a shot in hell beating them, but who knows? They could get cold. They could get cold at the wrong time.
The first 2 games against they played Boston 3 times so far.
Yes,
the first 2 games were competitive.
Right.
It was just that last game on
Yeah, they got waffle.
Is it just me or is it the afternoon games? They just don't do well in the afternoon games.
No,
they don't. It's like they don't. It's like
in particular prime time, like when all eyes are on them, they wind up choking. But like I said, 6 points out, you wind up playing. Like I said, we're looking down the yellow brick road. You wind up playing Boston in the first round. Just being optimistic. Hopefully, like I said, Boston gets cold at the wrong time.
It wouldn't be the first time that a number 8's beating a number 1.
And listen, and if history repeats itself, we got Boston's number in the playoffs.
Actually, no. The last time we played Boston in the playoffs, they swept us. The year after we did that miraculous comeback, Boston won
the 3-0 and
3-0, and then
I
we
thought
came
we got
back.
one up against swept by Buffalo.
No. That was the following year we played Boston. They swept us right out.
So 2011.
2001.
They won the cup that year, and the Flyers got
you're right.
They got swept out second round, but we got swept out. So Boston kind of owns.
Oh well, look. Like I said, hopefully they'll get wrong at the wrong time. Wrong at the wrong time. But listen, they're going to the All-Star break. You feel good, sitting at 500. And it is what it is. So Mike, if you look back at the season so far, what kind of grade would you give this as a midterm grade?
Midterm grade, I would give them probably a C.
I could even go C+.
Yeah, C+. Like they've been bad, but they've been pretty good.
But
too.
it's how do you not give them a C because they're 500 right now?
Exactly.
So it's pretty much a C. But the thing is, it's not just it's a C. It's a C that nobody saw coming.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody was. If you're looking at. If we were sitting back here, if we were doing this beginning of the season, you're looking at it as
you're looking at D plus at
best. So like, you'll be lucky if they don't get an F throughout the whole season. But with that being said, I know they've had their downswings against Boston. But if you look at the team that's leading the division, the New Jersey Devils, the Flyers are 3-1 against the Devils.
Right. And
so, I mean, that goes to show you right there. I mean, they've played close games with the Rangers. We haven't played Pittsburgh that much. I think we got one game
yeah,
with Pittsburgh so far.
So far, that's the only time we've seen the Kid. But yeah, I totally agree with you. You wind up playing a team like B Town. Hopefully, like I said, they get cold. Again, B Town's on top of the mountain, but I can see them hanging with the team like you said, the Devils and all that stuff. Now, my midterm grade, if you look at it again, they had a great October. And then November and early December became a reality for them. And then again, January was kicking off the new year. They were really high, probably the hottest team of the month. I believe they won 9 out of 7. 9 out of 7 games that they won in
7 out of 9 games.
7 out of 9 games
I was
inside.
about to say that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, I mean they're good.
Yeah, but I mean, look, again, only 2 losses, so they played very, very well in January. So let's see what February can bring us, and go forward from there. And I'd like to see what this team can do.
Listen, I think it's.
Yeah, real quick, guys. We have to hit some sponsors here. Don't forget, guys. I'm actually going to head down to the game. And you know how I got there? CherryStickets.com. I went in there, no hidden fees. I knew what I was going to pay. I got my 10% off by using my promo code EOP10. And go to CherryStickets.com for all your sporting, concert events, theater events, you name it. It is the best place to go. There is no hidden fees. 10% off by using EOP10. And real quick, also, don't forget, if you want to go to the Super Bowl, especially if you think there's a win, put your deposit down now. It's fully refundable if by, I think, tomorrow. If you don't want to, Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday. If you don't want to go, or if the Eagles don't somehow drop the game today, which I don't think it's going to happen, but it's fully refundable for that deposit. But if you want to go, this is your chance. Go to phillysportstrips.com. I'm actually going to be hanging out with them at the tailgate today. That has sold out. So if you wanted to go to that, tough poo, because it ain't happening. And guess what?
Yeah, in case if like me, don't get any tickets and you're just raging and you end up punching a 49er fan in the face and you need somebody to represent you, make sure you reach out to our man, David Archerry, for workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, and, of course, criminal law. You can reach him at 610-565-0300 or at cherryinjurylawyer.com.
And again, guys, if you're not doing anything, you want to go hang out with your buddies and all that stuff, head out to Dolan's Bar today down Redley Park, 24 East Sellers Avenue. Man, guys, go down there. I'm hearing great stuff, great food. Look, free buffet
today. Yeah, a free buffet today.
If you're like a guy like myself, the gobbler, like to jam a lot of food.
It's actually there's small print you can't read except for the gobbler. They know to be a loss there.
Yeah, look, great drink specials, free food. I mean,
you never know who's going to show up.
And you never know who's going to show up. Again, guys, go check them out today and let them know that EOP sent you.
And don't forget, guys, in about 20 to 25 minutes.
Oh, yeah, my man, Jason Furman is going to be checking in, co-host of the 3 and Third podcast. Good dude, man. We're going to be talking Eagles and Niners. He's a longtime Niners fan, so can't wait to chat up with him. So, well, listen, to wrap up this Flyers conversation, you have Travis Konechny at 24 goals, 25 assists, 49 points. You have our man Kevin Hayes, who's going to be representing the Philadelphia Flyers at the All-Star game. 15 goals, 30 assists, 45 points. Mike, who are you
first career Hattie this year?
First career Hattie.
I gotta give a shout out. Hold on, my boy Ryan Schmidt saying, "What's up, Mike Lawler? What's up, my dude? You can't trade and beat anymore." I'm gonna get on that in a second, Ryan, when we talk Sixers.
Yeah, hey Ryan, no love over here, my dog.
No, because you have 49ers colors on, and he probably
this ain't Niners colors. Okay,
it would be something they would wear. I feel.
Yeah, fraud.
Oh man.
Speaking of wearing Niners colors, just want to throw that up there.
Yeah, look at that.
Hey,
look at that.
Hey,
look at that.
Who's the perpetrator around here?
Look at that.
Look at the same goofy smile.
Yes.
In a different color jersey.
44-pound head. I mean, come on.
Jesus God, dude.
Oh my God.
How did your head fit through the top of that?
I don't know.
There's no eagle color either. I know, right, Bob?
That jersey, you can't see the bomb is probably drying on the floor because they had to buy a normal adult size to get that big cranium for the hole there.
I told you I was a little Niners guy.
What's that? What's that in your ear, dude? You have
an earring.
A 49ers fan with an earring in the ear. Yeah, that says a whole lot.
I was a little guy.
And that hasn't changed much.
Oh, my God.
You really are the San Francisco treat, dude.
Oh
Listen,
boy.
I want to say thank you to Bob and my man Ryan checking in from San
Bob
Boo.
Hartman. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
you look like baby Bob. Teal, that's great. Oh, we
Oh,
even got a
God.
Teletubby reference on this show.
Yes,
We are all over the map.
yes,
But
we
now
are.
getting back to the Flyers.
That's about right. We're never on the right.
No,
Never.
we're never straight.
I'll steal a line from TK. Tracks, train, nowhere near each other.
No, we're never straight on this show.
He would know. Oh God, watch it. Did you watch Homer Hour yesterday?
Oh no, no.
Hour hour.
Homer Hour. I will say this though, the crowbar almost hit the nail on the head though. I will never call him the hammer.
Oh,
He's
I'm the one to
crowbar.
give him the hammer name.
Well, he's the crowbar.
Oh,
He said Joel Embiid, him and his homerism.
Hold on one second. I don't think you gave him the name Hammer. I think it's been a miscommunication the whole time. I think it was hammered. Because I know they used to pregame their games at Wildfire, their shows at Wildfire.
Yes.
So he's probably hammered,
Woohoo!
and they just took it with the wrong way and ran with it.
Oh my
Sean
God.
Kieran says, "Hello, Frisco Pat. That's your new name."
The Frisco kid over here.
Frisco Pat. But no, Joe almost hit the nail on the head though. He said Joel Embiid was going to drop 50. I mean, he was only 3 away. So I mean, I got to give him his due there. He did call that. But oh my God.
Oh my God. Well, look, listen.
Yo, he
Go ahead.
before we just one little shot. If my manager should ever retire, I want Joe Marks to be my manager. My man can cut some serious wrestling promos.
It's story time.
Holy cow, bro. I watched him yesterday. I was like, damn, he's good.
Yeah.
I might actually, I'm telling you, my manager retires. I'm going to talk to Joe. He can be my manager.
There you go.
The remainder of my career.
There you go. But anyways, look, the Flyers, like I said, Trout's connecting, Kevin Hayes really carrying the team. You're still getting good supportive play from all three lines, actually. Someone's always contributing big on this team. So, like I said, hopefully they can keep up the good work, and who knows what can happen in the NHL.
Do you think Kevin Hayes gets traded? Because you've been hearing,
By the end of the season or the beginning?
I'm talking about trade deadline. Because I'm
yeah.
hearing that there might be a rift between him and Tortorella, which is kind of odd because he had played for Tortorella before in New York.
Well, it's not kind of odd because if he played with him before in New York, I mean, I think Tortorella was more Tortorella than he is now.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So maybe here's my thing: is I think part of it is, I think it's him wanting out, if anything, because he's 30 years old and this team is 5 years away from a cup.
Yeah,
he wants
to leave.
I mean, he
At
signed
least.
here. He signed here. I mean,
he signed here for money, and he thought. Here's my thing: is how long? I mean, it's not been long, but it's been long enough that 3-4 years ago we thought we were going to start contending.
Well, that's true. I mean, we made the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I mean, so but that bubble tournament was just a false hope.
Right. It was
right,
just,
Sully. I'm with you 100%, man. I am so amped right now. It's not even funny.
So listen,
let's knock out this.
Yeah, so let's go and talk about this Embiid situation because my man,
he's the worst.
What?
He's the worst, Embiid. So bad.
Oh yeah. My man dropped 47 points yesterday and looked like a game that it was going to be in favor of the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
They came out firing.
That first half, it was all Nuggets.
Porter Jr.
And I got to give credit to Dobbs and Freddie Burns on their show. And Dobbs pointed out, this defense of the Sixers is suspect. And when you take a deeper look at it, I mean, it was. I mean, they were
even Doc Ripper said it during one of their breaks. No, these are easy layups you guys are giving them. It's not like they're just sitting there sniping threes from the corner and you just, hitting good shots that are hard to defend. You guys are letting up easy layups.
Correct. And that's the bad part. You saw Doc get in their ear, like you said, close to the halftime break. And then that's when they start to turn the beat around because I think they were down by 15. And every time they were going to get a stretch going, Denver just kept on separating.
It was really nuts. The Sixers didn't take the lead until with 5 minutes left to go in the game.
Right.
So, I mean, you stop and think about it. They had the lead at 15 seconds into the game. They recaptured the lead with 5 minutes and 16 seconds left to go in the game. I'm sitting there watching this game going, but I will say this. You know how I've been on the trade Embiid thing, right?
Yes.
I'm kind of taking a step back on that.
Oh, okay.
I have. And I said it on my show Thursday night. I'm saying it here. I'm putting it out there. I'm taking a step back. No, I don't think we should trade Embiid right now. Let this team play out because I'm loving the rotation that I'm seeing with Maxey and Shake Milton coming off of the bench. And then, DeAndre Milton playing with Harden. I'm liking that, the way that those four guys
the bench a little bit.
Yes, I'm liking how that's playing out. And I'll tell you what, PJ Tucker yesterday, He kind of.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of why they brought him here yesterday.
And,
He was.
and-
He was kind of. He was in Jokic's face.
That's
yesterday.
another thing I have to give Freddie Burns credit for because I was really hard on PJ Tucker.
same. I
And,
was
like,
hard on the
He's like
first
out.
half.
He's like out. I mean, I know he hasn't been on the team, but go back and look at his numbers and then come back to me. And I'm like, I mean, PJ Tucker is not a guy who's going to score 15, 20 points.
No, he's not that guy.
He's not going to score 10 points a lot. I mean, he's just
here
not
for
that
his
guy. But
defensive
he
play.
is in your face. Listen, he's the only guy in the NBA, I swear to God, that follows up shots, goes for a rebound, doesn't fall backwards and start running down court. I love the guy for that much.
He is a Broad Street player. You know what I mean? He's got that mentality. He is up in your grill. He'll be there, underneath the net. Like you said, he doesn't, flop all over the floor.
That's what I saw yesterday. Like he was physical with them.
Like yesterday, because I was hard on him on the first half. I'm like, dude, what's the point of you being here? And then, again, that second half, man, his defense came quick.
Yeah.
And you weren't coming down that paint.
I'll tell you what. Another thing too is, like I said, the rotation too. I was noticing with that, and Denver kind of got away from what they were doing in the first half too. Like Porter was open. Michael Porter Jr. was nailing threes left and right yesterday.
Right.
I think he had like 6 in the first half, 5 or 6 in the first half. He had 3 at the end of the first quarter.
Well, it's funny. Before this game started, was it yesterday? I saw this weird. I don't, and I go by rumor, like very loose rumor, not really like big names, but people talking about it. One of their young players on that team, Bones Highland, who's I think from Wilmington. I think he's a local guy. There's talks about they're trying to trade him.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, apparently there's some discrepancy between him and trainers, or him and I don't know what the problem is. But could you imagine the Sixers? I don't see the Sixers making any big moves in the
No, I don't
the
see
trade
him.
deadline
No,
because
I'm
they have
with
nothing to
you.
work with.
Yeah.
They would like right now, like we've talked. I already started to do this. You started backtracking on the Embiid trade thing. I backtracked early into the season on the trade Tobias Harris thing too.
Yeah, you can't.
Because
like,
I mean, Captain Catch and Shoot now. Where's that guy been?
Yeah.
Right.
But he's been doing it a lot longer ever since those big three were out. And and it's funny because like all you hear about is Jokic, how good he is.
My God.
I'm looking at the graphs here from the Sixers.com from that game. I'm like, he led that team in every category, but got hosed by our team. I'm gonna go around this real quick. Points scored. He had the most for their team at 24.
Right.
Embiid had 47.
He almost doubled them in points.
Yeah, almost. And in rebounds, he had 8. Embiid had 18. In assist, he had 9. Harden had 13. And in blocks, they were tied 2 for 2 between him and Embiid.
Oh, that second block that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Dude, I thought that guy was going to swallow the basketball. That's how hard he swatted him yesterday. Like I got, like I said, I have to backtrack.
I wonder.
Well,
is there any connection to him being snubbed? Do you think because it always seems like he's like it's like I always said this about Tobias. He always plays well when you hear the trade rumors, and you see this anger inside of Embiid,
and he said that too. He said in the press, in the post game, interview, he said, "I'm tired of being disrespected." And if you go right now, if you go on NHL.com, and right there, right on the main title, it is, "Will Embiid's 47-point gem influence the MVP race?" And that this had to open your eyes on a primetime game for him to embarrass the phony MVP to open your eyes.
they're just putting this up on SportsCenter now. He's at 33 40-point, 10 rebound games, and the only person from right now is Shaquille, and he's tied with Jordan at 33.
Right.
I mean, and we saw on our messenger that our boy Sully and our boy Bill Furman from Philly Press Box Radio kind of go back, the old school versus the new school. But like, I mean, you have to give Sully some credit when he's saying like talent-wise, Embiid's up there.
That's what I said, and that's
what he's got to continue to play. Like this, like Embiid will come out here and drop 40, like he did 47 yesterday, and then all of a sudden, like he'll have a game where he gets like 20, and he's had more consistency putting up the big numbers this year. But when he starts, like what I liked and I saw from him is he got angry. He went out and he pointed a message. But the thing is now, if this is where Glenn Rivers has got to be a coach. This is where he's got to go, yo, man, you're going to keep disrespecting you. You got to keep going out there. So you got to make him keep dominating games for as long as you can.
And that's I think that's like the team's memo is that James Harden is not that going to be that guy who puts out like the big numbers, but he's going to be that guy who facilitates to everybody.
And that's what's made this team better.
Yeah,
That everybody knows their role now. I always felt like that this team was just a bunch of good players, and they said, "Have at it, fellas. Just go play some basketball." Like in
7 straight wins.
yeah, and like that this year I've seen a change there, and I kind of weird to put it this way. I feel like it's that time when the big three were down, when you had Maxey and you had Embiid and Harden injured, and then they kind of one by one started coming back. It forced the hand of Glenn Rivers to like look at this team in that light now. Like, all right, I already have these guys, so I got to play them like this.
Right.
Like playing Maxey, we see him sometimes, and it's all about the matchup. But playing Maxey as 6-man off the bench. I mean, having Maxey as your 6th man and putting up 23 points like he did a couple nights ago is amazing.
But and you take a look too, like Maxey when they didn't have no Embiid, no Harden, when they were out in Sacramento, and they come back and down all those points, and they come back and still win the game. Like that's a lot of firepower. You know what I mean? So I look at it like this, man. I about wanting to trade him, but like if they only get to the second round, like I said, we've seen this before with the Sixers being good in the regular season.
Well,
they were the number 1 seed at one time, okay, and they still got bounced in the second round. So yeah, I'll pull back on the trading Embiid.
Well, like I said,
here, but
I told you, and I made kind of I don't call it a bold statement, but I said if this team gets bounced again in the second round because of whatever reason, I would not be surprised if Embiid wants out. Maybe not next year, but the following year, because
correct.
like we say, we always talk about his shelf life. Big guy's shelf life is a lot less than like James Harden. He's not going to go like James Harden further into his 30s and stuff like that, or PJ Tucker. Look at his feet problem are already consistently making him questionable for games as it is. When you're that big and you're putting but you're as elegant on your feet as he is, it's gonna pay. You're gonna pay for that sooner or later. I mean, I'm a big man and I'm not nearly as athletic. I'm not even use the word athletic. I'm just fat. And like my feet would hurt, my back would hurt, just going up and down steps. So I couldn't imagine a man his size doing what he does and go along. So that has to sit in the back of your head because the money's been made, the records are being shattered. I mean, he's compared to Wilt and all those guys and breaking their records and tying their records all day, every day. So the only thing I was missing is what? Championship. You don't ever have to win an MVP. Don't ever let him win an MVP.
No, and
I don't care. I don't think he cares. I mean, I think he wants it. Don't get me wrong, but the chip is what is more important,
right, and
that's what would ultimately make him say, "Guys, we got bounced in the second round again. Something's not right, and we're going to remake this team again." Like this is the 3rd year in a row you're remaking the team,
right, and it's been like that with this guy. Try and get him the right supporting cast. So I mean,
right now it looks like they got it.
They look like they finally nailed it. I mean, George Niang has stepped up a little. His game's got a little better from the perimeter.
How about him and Shake?
Shake has been nice.
They
got into it.
But you know what? I don't like that.
Yes,
people are like, oh no. But I'm like,
the miscommunication.
That means they made a mistake and it bothered them.
It got to the point where Embiid had to come between them. Like, yo, that's it.
But like I said, I like it because that shows that they're not okay with it.
Right.
I mean, it's not like it's something that happens every night.
Yeah,
it's not like something they're fist fighting.
Yeah.
It just shows you that this meant something to them, even something as minimal as that, and most people will just walk away from. So I like it. I'm okay with that.
Yes, I totally agree. That's
wow.
And here's the thing: is this was like the game in this current stream of games that we're like looking at, like that they could easily lose, and they could have had this as a scheduled loss, but they didn't. And now you're gonna go up to the Magic back 2 games in a row. So this is
and that's here, right? 2 games in a row.
They're both
they
home.
got the Magic here.
They're both home. Yeah.
Back to back.
Yeah, that's a weird.
They don't play an away game until Friday against the Spurs.
Right.
Ooh,
and then they start hitting the road a little
again.
bit. But I mean, again, it's an easy schedule that's coming up. I mean, you got the Knicks next week. So again, I look where the Sixers sit, and if you really want to point at the good positive things about the Sixers and moving forward, I mean, just the bench has been better. It has finally come to fruition of being what we expected, what they want to be, and that's like the Montreal Harrell sign. I always go back to it. He's been the big plus in the paint. Stepping up there, making some great dunks, looking, looked at the rebound ball. You get the offensive rebounds. So he's been to me your big plus so far.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, he was like the Andre Drummond of this year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the Sixers when they traded Drummond last year along with Seth Curry. You know, they were missing that backup piece, and now with Harold coming in here, that definitely has helped.
And it's helped. And like I said yesterday, and they looked at yesterday's game like a playoff game. That's how they.
I'll tell you what, they looked like they were asleep. It looked like Harden.
Yeah.
It looked like Harden was at the Lilas till 2 a.m. Because like
Probably was.
probably was. But,
I mean,
but
I don't think there's anything probably about it. I think he was there.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just took like, you know, they were basically down from 15 seconds into the game. Within 5 minutes left of the game, they were down.
Yeah,
that whole time. So give them credit; they fought back. But I'll tell you what, that place erupted when Niang hit that three to take the lead.
You know, and again, it came down to a defense, and you know, Doc had to get in their ear, defense, 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 and they, you know, that's when things started.
Dude, you start seeing Embiid blocking shots, yeah.
Because he was somewhat off in the beginning as well.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, missing some shots. So again, and if he's missing shots, that's pretty bad because that's your nucleus right there.
What in the free throw?
Yeah, the free throw.
That could have been ultimately. Just think about it. They were they were 2 for 10 at one point, I think.
Hey.
And that's an 8-point swing right there. That could have easily lost that game for them.
Yep.
And I think they only shot 66% from the free throw line. Sixers are top in the league at like 88 point something right
So
now.
I told you they were all out partying. Like Harden had he had a boys' night at the Lilas.
But that once again shows me a lot about this team that they were able to pick it up against the best team on the other side of side of this country. Like I like it. I'm okay with this.
Yes, I'm with you. I mean, like I said,
and actually, guys, real quick, sorry to cut you off, but scheduling note: 5 minutes, we'll have our boy Colin in to talk San Fran Eagles matchup with you, and just a change for tonight on EOP, all across all the time will be on at 11 today a.m.
There you go.
So they're going to be coming on, and then the pre and post game with Matty B, and of course, Mike, you're going to do triple duty today.
Yes, I'm doing triple duty today. I got pre and post.
I will
with Matty
be.
B.
Me and Joey Shear will probably be popping on the post game because there's no way in hell we're getting out of that.
More than
with an Eagles W, there's no way we're getting out of that parking lot for at least an hour. So you'll see us.
Yeah, it may even take you 2 hours to get home. You probably take a case of beer with you.
Right.
Yeah. So you know, again, the Sixers team. And matter of fact, I gotta get the whole thing. You know, it really started with the Wings getting their win on Friday. The Sixers getting their win against Denver Nuggets. The Flyers win against last night against the Winnipeg. I tell the show like hang with the heavyweights and see what we're about.
Listen,
and
the very
so
first
far,
the very first
3-0.
thing. No, man, you gotta go 4-0. First thing, Robbie Thompson said Friday morning, Bryce Harper's ahead of schedule. That's a win in my book.
Yeah,
he's ahead of schedule in his rehab. So that started it. Then the winter teams took over and started playing good ball. So
start to come alive a little bit. So
and now we got to move on to.
And then now we got to talk about our birds because you and I have some serious business.
I don't know business. Look, you're a fraud.
No, I want to know who is the perpetrator in my household. I saw you and my brother, getting up last week at the live remote. So I wonder if that was that.
Me and Chuck always get it because we talk about you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw you and that 44-pound headed monster just sitting there.
44.
You got room to talk with your 66-pound head. Like, the one lady I feel bad for is your mom. Between you and Chuck, man, oh my God, you guys probably killed her.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
Jesus,
that's a lot. That's a lot of headboard biting.
Hey,
so
Jesus God Almighty,
this rails off. Bring a parachute on this one, but no. What's going on, Insane? That's my boy.
Go
my
Eagles,
boy
yes. But
yes.
so this, if anyone's watching for the first time, this past week, my broadcast partner here exposed my childhood.
Thanks, Joey. We'll see if both of us. It might have to be one of us.
I'm gonna have to hit the dump. I gotta have my hand on the dump button for this one. Me and Maddie. So already doing that. I exposed him for the fraud that he was. Okay, he comes in here. Last week, we're playing the New York Giants. We're on a live remote. We're inside an Eagles bar, and this dude got a golf shirt with Giants colors on.
It's blue,
which is one of the colors of the Giants.
You could blue and gray.
You could wear black. You could wear gray. You could wear white. Didn't have to be Eagles colors per se, but a neutral color would have been
I was
fine.
told I look nice.
What? Your wife on the line?
No, the couple other guys from the back. All right. So listen, guys. I'll handle you another
Yeah,
time.
we got a
because
guest. Let's get to
We
the
let's
guest.
we got a guest on the phone lines here, and my man Jason Freeman. What's going on, brother?
Hey, gentlemen, how we doing this morning?
Hey,
Jason, you know me. I chime into your show with you, Nicole, and you guys do a great job breaking down all at the NFL. So let me ask you a question. Where'd you guys come up with the 3 and 3 podcast?
I get asked that quite a few times. It's interesting. About 3 years ago, I was doing my own solo show. I had Nikki on one week, and I was like, oh, that went well. And then I had Damien on the next week. I'm like, that went well. I'm like, how about the three of us get together to do a show? So it was just totally just generic, made up out of nowhere. So the three of us did a show. We're like, you know what? The chemistry feels good. Why don't we roll with it? Now we got to come up with a name. We're going through all these different things. Like, oh, 3rd and 3. We love football. It's a football show. And then, bam, here we are 3 years later still doing it. So it was not even a planned thing. It was just an experiment that ended up working out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's
That's
great
what
stuff.
Pat's parents say about him. So.
It's a great it's a great product. Like I said, I watch you guys. You guys break down all the NFL. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoy it. But let me ask you a question too. So I know you're a longtime Niners fan. So again, I'm getting killed over here because somebody exposed my childhood jersey of me wearing a Jerry Rice jersey. So I'm getting killed today for it. So, but anyway, what made you a Niners fan?
Well, God bless that you're wearing that jersey. It's a beautiful thing. I hope it brings us the power that we need today to take on these Eagles. But what you would call a front runner is my father. He is a typical front runner. I was born in 1980. Who were the team of the 80s? 49ers. So as long as I can remember, I was a 49er fan. So he made me a Niner fan, and he has jumped ship so many damn times already. I don't even know what team he roots for now, but I stuck with my San Fran Niners. That's it. End of story. So always have been, always will be.
All right, nice. So what's what do you want to see? Like, what's your game plan for the Niners? What are you looking for them to do against this high-powered Eagles defense, offense? How you want to cook? What's your key to success today against the Birds for this Niners team?
Well, they're definitely the toughest team that we've had to play this year. And I was on record preseason. I picked the Eagles to come out of the NFC. Now, hoping that doesn't happen, but they're tough. If you want to go with a weakness, they're not even really a weakness because they're getting better at stopping the run, but that's something we do really well. So if we can establish the run and really hope Elijah Mitchell can play, he's got a groin injury, to back to Christian McCaffrey, that'll get everything going. And we got to get the ball out of our hands quick. Purdy's got to get rid of it fast. We need play action to work. So again, everything is predicated on the run because the Eagles have a tough time. I think they're ranked 21st in the league this year against the run. If we can pull that off, that'll open up play action for Kittle over the middle. Debo doing his thing. It opens up everything. So we need to be able to do that and establish a run. And again, Elijah Mitchell is going to be really important if he can play because we can't just drive Christian McCaffrey into the ground and use him and give him the ball 25, 30 times. It's crazy. So that's the key to success on offense. Defensively, it's really tough. Look, dealing with a dual threat quarterback, nobody can really deal with that. There's no magic, potion to come up with the success story to end up, dealing with a guy like Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts or Justin Fields. When we played Justin Fields, he ran all over the place in the first game in the rain. So how are we going to deal with that? Maybe have to put a spy out there. The 49ers don't like to do that. We don't like to blitz much, but I think that D'Amico Ryans, our D coordinator, is going to have to mix it up and say, guys, we're going to have to rush 5 at times. We may have to put Dre Greenlaw, who's a really fast linebacker, next to Fred Warner. So you know what? Spy Jalen Hurts on maybe even 1st and 10 or 3rd and long. Certain plays, not all the time, but they're going to have to mix it up. And another thing offensively, because you guys' secondary is so good, the Eagles secondary, they're going to have to do trips. They're going to have to do bunch formation. They're going to have to do a lot of things to try to throw them off. So again, all that motion that the 49ers use, that is the key to our success right there. Using that motion, seeing what the Eagles are lined up, and are they playing man, are they playing zone? And again, hopefully get everything going off the run game. I know I said a mouthful right there, but I'm excited for this game, guys.
Look, for us, so like I said, for us, the Dallas defense kind of gave you an appetizer with the NFC East. for us, we're hoping like, okay, oh, Brock Purdy kind of looks like he's human back there because for a while, this kid came out of nowhere and he's been playing hot football, but now he's come across, just the NFC East, and like I said, the Cowboys are just a small sample size what the Eagles front four can bring you, and for us, we're looking for our defense to get busy back there and make Brock Purdy go one dimensional and make him throw the rock. But the problem I have today is, primarily with the quarterbacks we've seen, they always had that security blanket. But with Purdy, like you say, you got George Kittle, you got Debo Samuel. He's got multiple options back there that he could throw to that can be scary for the bird. So that's my thing is I'm not taking this game, is a smack, complete wipeout. I think this is going to be a tough task for the birds. So that's where I'm at right now.
I think the reason why it's going to be a tough game is because football, and people forget, the game is won in the trenches, offensive and defensive line, and 49ers and the Eagles have that on both sides. They have multiple, Pro Bowlers going. For the Eagles, they have 4 guys with 10 sacks or more this year. I mean, that's 75 sacks on the season overall, so they're great defensively. On the line, the 49ers with Trent Williams, one of the best tackles in the game. They have a couple of guys that people haven't heard of, like Spencer Burford and Aaron Banks, Mike McGlinchey, but the Niners are good on the offensive line and the defensive line. Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, they can do their thing, just like Fletcher Cox, Hassan Reddick, who has been a monster for you guys this year, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham. I mean, they're both great on both sides of the ball in the trenches, and that's where the game is won and lost. So whoever can get the most push, that's who's going to win.
Correct.
Hey, Jason, this is Mike. This is the intelligent part of PNM and the AM. What I wanted to ask you is I don't think San Francisco has played a line like ours this year. And I think the one matchup really that I think really kind of gives the Eagles a kind of a favorable matchup is Bosa versus Lane Johnson. Now, I don't think he's going to stay on Lane the whole time, but what scares you about this Eagles attack besides Hurts? Everybody knows Hurts is a dual threat. Looking at it from a 49ers perspective, what is scaring you about this Eagles offense, meaning the guys up front and the rest of the offense?
Well, you said he's a dual threat, so not only can he run, he can throw the ball, and he's proven that this year. And A.J. Brown scares the hell out of me because I look at Travarius Ford, our top cornerback, trying to take him one-on-one, and I don't see that going very well. I really don't. A.J. Brown is an absolute beast, so if there are those one-on-one man situations where the Niners are blitzing or whatever it is, and you throw a 50-50 ball up, it's more like 90-10 for A.J. Brown in the situation. Then you look at the rest of their defense. The safeties have been playing well in a kind of zone coverage scheme back there, but I am terrified of the passing game over here. It's not so much the running game, and I give respect to Miles Sanders and those guys, I really do. But Devontae Smith is very underrated because all the talk is about A.J. Brown, but then there's Dallas Goedert to deal with. So the one weakness that the 49ers really do have on defense is coverage, and we've kind of gotten past that because our defensive line is so good. So they cover a lot of things up in the secondary. But if we can't get home, we got a big problem because Jalen Hurts will be able to pick us apart. So that's what scares me as much as him running the ball is his arm and the receivers he can get it to.
Hey, this is Al, the looks of the show. That's why they don't put me on camera. They want to make themselves look bad. But my question is, you got two teams who can get the balls turned over, but don't turn the ball over very often. I believe that's where the difference is in that could win this game, win or lose for either side. Where do you feel? Who has the upper hand, do you think, on the turnover game going into this game?
That's a really good question because you're right. Neither team does turn the ball over, which in addition to having great offensive and defensive lines, that's why they're here. That's why they're playing in the last game. You would have to think that that Brock Purdy is still a rookie. I know he hasn't lost yet. It's been amazing. We're all flabbergasted by the whole thing, but you would think that maybe he would be caught in a couple of mistakes due to the pass rush, maybe throwing the ball early that he shouldn't, the way that he sometimes runs around back there. If his arm is out, I can see him turning the ball over. Jalen Hurts, he doesn't like to turn the ball over. He's only, 6 interceptions the entire season, which is incredible. So I would lean more towards the 49ers turning the ball over, which would not be a good look because I think that Philly's going to play really good on offense and take advantage of situations like that if they do occur.
So Jason, my question is, I mean, like I say, we got this kid over here, Brock Purdy, who's really took the NFL by storm, just with his play. What's the future like for I guess Jimmy G now? I mean, what's going to be the move there? I mean, is he obviously what's going to happen with him?
You got to think that he's a goner this time for sure. I think that the fact that Purdy has played so well and Trey Lance project is still somewhere in the mix, possibly. We don't know. That all depends on what Purdy does. Jimmy's out. There's no way they're going to keep him around. He's done. As a matter of fact, I think he's a free agent after the season. So I see him going. Gosh, who knows? The Jets, the Titans. I mean, there's a bunch of teams that he's going to go to. But the 49ers, this was his last ride. That legitimately is it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you like I said, you got this kid who's taking the like I said the NFL by storm. But look, as Eagles fans, I mean, I think we can all agree at the table here. I mean, the Niners kind of made our weekend because not only we smashed up the Giants in the NFC, but you guys took care of the Cowboys as well. So I mean, ultimately, I think we both won here.
Right.
So
And that's something we have in common. San Fran fans, we hate the Cowboys just almost as much as you guys do. We
oh my.
despise them.
Yeah, and we do. I mean, like I said, the rivalry. Like I said, just like we had Vinny Papalio on a couple of nights back. He mentioned like if the Cowboys would have won, it would have been more so about the rivalry, more about the game. But with the Niners winning, it's now all of a sudden now it kind of opens your eye. Like they are the number two for a reason. And they cooked the Cowboys. They defensively, offensively, like you say, you find towards Kittle over the middle that could be scary at times. You do not want to take your eye off anybody in their, wideouts. You got, Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield can make magic happen. So you really got to keep your eyes on anything that the Niners throw at you. So that's for
No
me. Like I
doubt.
said, that's the like you said, and the game's going to be won in the trenches.
Jason, what's your prediction for the game?
Well, if I'm being completely and totally honest and taking bias out of it, I do think that Philly's going to end up winning it 27-23. I hate saying it, and this has nothing to do with my prediction before the season. I'm looking at it objectively. I just don't see them making mistakes. I'm not saying it will, but I feel like Philly has got more weapons, and ultimately, they certainly have the better quarterback, and that usually is what tips the scale. So I hate to say it, but I think Philly's going to win, and God, I hope I'm wrong.
One last quick question: does the stadium, the home field advantage, do you think play a factor at all against the Niners in this game?
I think it does, and I'm glad that Brock Purdy has had experience on the road. Now, it's not going to be an environment like this one, obviously, given it's Philly and it's a playoff game to get to the Super Bowl. So I do think that may play some sort of factor into it. But if he's cool and confident enough to shake that off and get that, off somewhere early in the first quarter, shake some rust off, whatever it may be, then I think that he'll be fine for the rest of the game because he is a pretty confident kid, and that's what I like. So even the fact that he threw a couple of interceptions, early on in the playoffs, he came back, he bounced back against Seattle. So maybe he does have some ice in his veins over there and he's able to do it. But yeah, he's a rookie, so you never know.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Jason, thanks for joining the show today. Listen, brother, anytime you come down to Philly, you hit me up. We'll invite you in here. We'll take you out for a cheesesteak. You let me know. And, like I said, I watch you and your show. You're a cool dude. So let me know and I'll take care of that for you.
All right, thanks, man. Hey, I appreciate that. It was great talking with you guys. You guys obviously know your football, so that's always a pleasure right there.
All right,
Thanks,
Jason. See you, brother.
Thanks, Jason.
Take care, fellas.
Now, back to you.
Yeah,
Now-
back to me.
Now
Yeah,
back to
me.
business over
Now,
here.
back to you.
But real quick before you get to business, guys, like I said, I'm heading down to the game, and I got my tickets at sherrystickets.com. Saved a ton of money on just using them, plus the additional 10% off with the EOP10 promo code. sherrystickets.com. That is the way to go. Family owned and operated right here in Delaware County area. Great prices, no hidden fees. Sports, concerts, theater events, they got you covered. And trust me, you will not find better prices, and there will be no hidden fees at checkout where they bend you over a barrel. They don't do that at sherrystickets.com. I know usually Pat pays extra for that, but not this time. And don't forget, the Philly Sports Trip is sold out for today's tailgate. I'm heading down there as soon as this show's over. But there's a chance to still sign up to get your fully refundable deposit for the big trip out to hopefully the big game. A lot of trips come up. I know, Pat, you're heading up to Brooklyn to watch them take on the Nets in a bus trip. I know a lot of other ones are up there. So go to phillysportstrips.com, check them out, and tell them EOP sent you.
Yeah, and if you need, legal representation like I may need after I'm done with Pat here, make sure you hit up our man David Archer here at 610-565-0300. Workman's compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, like what I'm about to do to Pat, and criminal law, which I'm definitely going to need it. So make sure you.
Is that a 2-for-1 deal? Criminal and personal injury.
Yep, and you let them know that EOP sent
He's
you.
going to personally injure you, Pat.
So, yeah, make sure you hit them up at cherryinjurylaw.com.
And guys, again today, go to Dolan's Bar, get yourself a hookup right here, free buffet, great drinks, good times, man. It take you and your buddies to 24 East Sellers Avenue to Dolan's Avenue. That's a Dolan's. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm a little tongue tied.
Sellers Avenue.
So again, go check them out. Have a good time. Like I said, great drinks, free buffet, 24 East Sellers Avenue down in Ridley Park. 19078 is the zip code. So like I said, I hear terrific things there. I'm hearing scrapple, cheesesteaks, and all this other stuff. It's really grabbing the collar by the junk. So, guys, go check them out.
And, guys, I don't know if you checked this out last night. They had like a pep rally at the art museum, and they had one of the drone shows. So this is some of the pictures from the drone show. It's pretty cool how they do this. They program these drones to light up and just make these words, and it's just pretty amazing how they can do it.
Yeah, they did the eagle one too. Did you see that?
When the
eagle was flapping its wings.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty crazy.
Pretty cool.
But that's just a couple of the pictures. If you missed it, go to our social media pages and check it out.
Now, listen. First of all, I want to say thank you to my man Chase for checking into the show. But you, my friend, I don't know if I don't know if I'm more mad with you or Xfinity Live for letting them have a Niners night down there.
Come on, dude! Like, did you see that takeover?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
E-Rock said it the best. He was like, "Dude, I've seen more people at bingo."
Right. Well,
what was there? 200 Niners fans. That's a great takeover.
But still, that's.
Well, listen.
The only one that was worse was the Minnesota one when they had private jets that they said that they had the jets ready to go right after the game because all the Minnesota fans were fear for their life.
And then all of a sudden, broccoli, right? Is it?
No, it's broccoli.
No, that's what. Still,
broccoli's something you eat.
Oh well. Anyway.
Jesus God.
But anyway, listen.
Yeah, I know. Listen.
Let's get into it.
How that's not going to fare well. You don't mess with St. Rocky. You don't come.
The last two teams
that have come here and mess with St. Rocky
lost 38-7.
Yeah,
both of them.
Like,
they should have wrote to Minnesota in New York and asked, "How did that work out for you guys?"
Did you see that? There was a guy on, I believe it was Yelp or something like that, or they hit up a New York Giants group.
Oh yeah,
it's the Giants fans on how to deal with Eagles fans.
Yeah, like there was like,
like
a how-to video. Do you ever have a how-to video not getting murdered in Philly? Yeah. Don't wear the opposing color jersey.
The one guy turned around
and don't talk back to us. It's just
ignore us. Dude, the best was the second one was from a New York Giants fan, and he was like, "Nah, dude, we don't like yous either." Dude, he's like, "We're like," I think he said something like, "We don't like yous. We're pulling for the Eagles. At least it stays in our division." Like, or something.
Nobody said who.
It was a Giants fan.
That's a bigger fraud movement than what they did asking for. Like, how do we deal with Philly fans? I do not care. I do not care who's on the other side. If it is Dallas, if it is Washington, and if it is New York, I do not want to see them win.
Correct.
True.
That's why I said what last week made my weekend.
Wait a minute. What are you worried about? You're a San Fran fan. What are you worried about?
Oh, you better be quiet over there.
You got one of those
Bozo the brown noser. I've had enough.
Bozo the brown noser. Well, it's better than being Chico the Niners fan. Okay. Chico the Niners fan. That's what I'm going to call you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, your new name is Chico. Look, you got a tan.
Yeah, from hanging out in San Fran all the time.
Hanging out in San Fran a lot. Always talking about going to the Blue Oyster. Where's the Blue Oyster? San Fran.
Yeah, this is true. Oh, I didn't even think of that one. And he loves some rice.
And you love some rice. Poor Monique.
But yeah, I need to know who's the perpetrator in the household.
You don't need to know nothing about nothing.
I got a hold of it. I'm blaming Chucky.
I got a hold of it. And guess what? I showed the world what type of fraud you are. Yeah, for my butt. You were sitting there rocking a jersey of the 49ers. You know, and you've got a little gold thing in your ear.
Let me tell you something. I've been I was booed all week at work.
Good.
I lost my
I think he rode a
dignity.
trolley here too, if I remember. If I saw it when he pulled up.
Yeah. You ain't never see that, dude? Every time a trolley rides by in the city, Pat goes running after it.
Was this Mr. Rogers? I'm that little puppet in the
And his
trolley.
favorite show growing up was Full House. I'm just
Yep.
going to point this out.
See? I mean, there you go. Like,
But listen,
you are so San Francisco, man. Like, you got a picture of Cody Ross hanging up in your room.
but listen, I know I got embarrassed this whole week because of you and your nonsense. Everyone's booing me at the job.
It ain't
I lost
nonsense.
my dignity. I lost my pride. I lost my manhood. I lost.
Whoa. To loss doesn't mean you had it, right?
Well,
I'm just pointing this out here, right?
yeah, I mean,
Now, listen. Now, all joking aside, growing up, yes, I know I broke Pat Stone's old. And Pat is probably the most diehard 4-for-4 guy that I do know. So, yes, I will give you your due. You are a 4-for-4 guy, but I had to have this fun with you.
oh, I know.
Listen, growing up, I was always a diehard Eagles fan. But I'm also going to let you know this right now, too. I had a little bit of love for the San Diego Chargers, okay? Because I loved Junior Seau. I played football. I liked Junior Seau. I'll tell you right now, my favorite player was Ronnie Harmon on those teams. I loved Ronnie Harmon. I thought he was a great back. I used to watch the Chargers, too. So, Pat, yeah, we kind of go through that growing up. Now, granted, anytime the Chargers played the Eagles, it was always the Eagles. I've never taken.
You have to again. As I growing up,
But at least I was smart and did the other conference and the team furthest west. Like you, my man, same conference. You're like, Jerry Rice, yay.
Just like Jason had said earlier, to me, you had two teams of diamond in the early '90s. You had the Cowboys or the Niners.
Well, in the '90s, yeah. I mean,
that's all I knew. I mean, you go from Montana, Steve Young. I mean, again, and Jerry Rice out there. I mean, Jerry Rice being my favorite player. I mean, that's what I was exposed to. I was exposed to the Niners.
Listen,
I don't know. Growing up, I couldn't wear another jersey if I wanted to. The only jersey that I wore that was not a Phillies jersey was a Michael Jordan jersey, which I think everybody had one of those. I had Bulls T-shirts and stuff like that. But I'm just the way I was brought up, just the way I think. I like my partner on Wednesday nights, Joe. He loves Peyton Manning. He has Peyton Manning stuff. But I don't ever think I've seen him wearing a Peyton Manning jersey. I don't.
It's funny you bring up basketball. I got so mad at the Sixers when they traded Barkley. I got so mad at them. I was like, you know what? I'm done with them. You know who my team ended up being after that?
Suns?
No, Seattle Supersonics, dude. I
Really?
love Sean Kemp, dude. I used to rock their stuff all the time.
You gotta remember, I'm what 4 or 5 in the early '90s. So I mean, I like
4 or 5. Jesus.
I like the logos. You know what I mean? I was a fan of the logos.
Dave Yarnell says, "Who do you guys like in the AFC game?"
I'm going Bengals.
I'm going Bengals too. I think Joey Cool gets it done.
I think Joey Cool has Pat Mahomes' numbers, like his kryptonite a little bit, man.
Joe January, I'm feeling it.
All right. And Paul Spencer saying, "Wow, I've never worn another jersey other than Cowboys, even owning 200 opposing team jerseys."
Wow. Yeah, but like I said, I was thinking
still,
Rocky.
That's sad though.
Listen,
I just don't like the Cowboys.
Dude, let me give you a little story about Paul. Him and my brother on flea market days would make bank because him and my brother would have jerseys loaded out front. Because Paul lived about 2 doors down from me, so his gate and my gate were loaded with jerseys. And him and my brother used to make bank. They were like the former Mills before former Mills. Like it was crazy how those two dudes used to make money.
Listen, jerseys back then were selling, man.
That's what I'm saying. And that's another thing.
They also want $500 a piece. Like nowadays, if you want to go get an authentic, like I have an authentic Dawkins. I have 2, one signed and one, I wear. The authentic Dawkins jerseys, they're like $300, $325 a piece, easily, like real deal one.
Payne said, "I never wore anything but Boston teams. I don't care. I don't know about y'all."
No, I never wore Boston team, but one time I ran out of toilet paper and that Celtics jersey came in Andy.
Wow.
Well, by the way, speaking of Celtics, did anybody see from last night the Celtics Lakers game? I would have loved to see the Celtics lose, but LeBron missed the layup. But you could, if you slow it down, you see that Tatum smacked his arm.
Yeah.
But did you see the baby hissy fit that LeBron threw?
Yes.
Really?
Oh my God!
Watch it. It was epic.
Yeah,
it was epic.
I just reminded me because they played it up on the screen again, and I saw it on my Twitter feed and everything. I'm just like, he's like dropping around, about to rip his jersey off. He's on the floor crying. He cut through guys. He went up, put the arm up for the layup, and Tatum, you see him slap him right on the forearm. but they didn't call it, and the game was over. Now it would have been better for us.
Well, no, that was in the regulation that happened. They went
Yeah.
into overtime.
But that would have been the game winning.
Yeah,
That would have been game winning for them.
that's crazy. But no, getting back to this, yeah, it's always fun to poke. I had fun all week poking.
Oh,
bear
my
with this
gosh,
guy. It
this
was
is-
great. I
This
mean,
is- hey, great for you.
it
But
was. Listen, man, listen. My two favorite NHL players were never Flyers, which was Trevor Linden and Doug Gilmour.
Well,
Loved them.
the worst part was you put the football out there, and my man Art, and he sees I'm getting punched, and instead of helping the cousin out, he's got to kick
No.
a dog when he's down. He's got to
Yeah.
kick a dog
Well,
when he's
listen,
down.
dude, that's your family.
Yeah, I told you I don't like him.
LeBron always acts like a child. Yeah, you ain't
You're
lying.
not wrong there.
No,
But
so-
listen, let's dive into this game because
yeah, let's talk about it,
because I am jacked. I know, Al,
Oh.
Al, I'm jealous. You and the boss are going to the game today.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Yeah, I
jealous
mean-
of you guys, but I'm jacked.
and then the NFL actually did it. I don't know about you guys, but did me a favor. It's 3:00.
It's a solid. It's a solid because you can watch the game
Be
If-
done by 7.
7-ish,
Yeah.
and guess what? If there's you got time to even go party a little bit and still be
And
in
you
bed.
get to watch to see who's going to be representing the AFC.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
the only thing I don't like is though they got that game starting at like
6:30.
6:30. So
Mhm.
like it's going to overlap a little bit. I felt like if
I think they'll push it a little bit if this game is real tight at the end. If it's tight at the end, they'll push it. If it's like up by 2 scores on either side, yeah, no, they're going to start it up. But
Yeah.
they'll push it if this game comes down to it. You watch.
So again, to me, I'm thinking about the game, looking at it. Like I said, I try and look at it from the Niners' perspective, what they're going to bring to us. But again, the Eagles' MO, and especially Nick Sirianni, getting not even a thought of being a coach of the year.
I'm
Has
sorry,
got-
that-
has
that-
got-
He,
let-
he made it to the top 5, but that was
listen,
about
the
it.
whole disrespect thing.
Here's my thing is I say Brian Daboll is the coach of the year. And the reason is because he took a team that's been irrelevant, speaking of irrelevance, for a very long time and got him not just to the playoffs, but a first round win.
Right.
It's because they have been so dominant this year that he got snubbed. If this team, if Jalen Hurts and then they had all the weapons around him wasn't the way it was and they still are playing the way they were, yeah, he probably would have been the candidate. But I see why he wouldn't have won, but he should have been top 3.
This
Listen,
falls out. We got a
Kyle Shanahan, that's the one that
This
irks
is
my
the
soul.
one, yeah. And I'm
But
sorry,
then again, they are on their 3rd string quarterback,
but here's
and
the
they're in an NFC Championship game, so I get it.
But listen, but this is a regular season thing, okay? This is a regular season award, and I'm sorry, he beat Doug Peterson, he beat Brian Dable 3 times,
Yes.
and he's going to beat Kyle Shanahan today.
Uh,
There's the 3 Coach of the Year nominees.
You're 14-3. Your only losses. I mean, you got robbed of 1, and the 2 you had a backup QB.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, like he should have been mentioned, but the biggest one of all to me, there's 2. Brandon Graham not being nominated for Comeback Player of the Year is absolute BS.
Yes.
The
Yes.
dude had a career high in sacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's bull. That is so much bull. Yeah, these are all peeps that I know checking in there. Eileen, tell them I said thank you. But
What's up, Anthony?
this is what's really getting me, that one and Hassan Reddick not being put in for Defensive Player of the Year. That is BS too. I'm sorry, he had a better year than Micah Parsons. Okay, he's got more sacks.
Oh,
than
that
Chris-
one was the most egregious
Yes,
in my eyes.
and that one, and he's got more sacks.
And
then-
Brandon Graham not being comeback player of the
yeah,
year,
that's
that
what-
one irks my soul too.
But here goes another thing. What are we doing? We're all talking about. They know this is they know the Philly fans.
You're probably not wrong. I think a lot of times like they snub people. Even look at the Sixers. I don't think that 50% of that vote for the All-Star game comes from fans. That means they're collecting the votes.
Yeah.
You think they can't sway that a little bit?
Yeah.
Look how much news the NBA gets. NBA has to struggle right now. The NBA is struggling right now in the sense, if you look at it, the NBA's top games playing in the last season of the NFL, week 18. And actually, if you look at the Christmas stats, the worst game of the NFL on Christmas was more than all the games played
Combined.
in the NBA
Yep.
on Christmas.
But here's
So this is the way. Think about it. It's kind of ingenious. They want us. All right, we need to pull a little bit. It's NFC playoff week. We need to pull a little away from the NFL. Let's piss off Philly. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's magic for some guys.
Listen. Craig Carton from out of FAN. He's got Jalen Hurts as the 4th ranked quarterback of all the quarterbacks this week.
Come on.
Like,
If you're looking for,
and he called the Giants winning last weekend. Like again,
but you're looking for clickbait now.
yeah. Oh well, again.
Yeah.
So I think the Eagles. I'll tell you right now. You know, Brandon Graham's taking this personally, and I'm sorry. Yes, Trent Williams is a great tackle, but guess what? Trent Williams has been owned in his career by Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham has owned him.
Right.
So I'm not worried. I think that offensive line in San Francisco isn't going to know what hit them.
Right.
I think Purdy's not going to have time to throw. And I'm sorry, they keep bringing up the run. If you watch the Eagles' run defense over the last, it's gotten better every week.
Like I said, and I was telling Jason earlier, I mean, you got a small sample size from the Cowboys. You haven't seen anything yet. The Eagles' defense is going to be right there for you. That front four is nasty. And look, and Jason glued it to himself. I mean, he feels like it's going to be a Birds win. And then again, you make them go one dimensional. And again, like I said, the only thing that worries me is that they got George Kittle, they got Debo, but you can rely on the secondary to make stops.
Right, exactly. Too, another big plus too. Avonte Maddox coming back. Like Kaepernick says, I live out of state, and Philly is not loved. And Drew, especially where you're at, Mike.
And it's funny how we complain about it. At the same time, we wear that as a moniker.
Yeah.
Like, we're not loved and we don't care.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're like, how can you not love us? We're lovable. We're lovable. And if you don't like us, I'm going to punch you in the mouth for it. Like,
that's right.
Yeah.
And if you like me, I'm going to punch you in the mouth even harder. Like that.
And that's Pat. I'm all on your leg.
Hello.
Like
yep.
But getting back to this game, this is where I think the Eagles are going to win this game is on both lines. I think both lines are better than San Francisco.
Well, that's kind of what our guest said too. He agrees. It's going to be in the trenches, and this game will be a trench game.
But I feel the Eagles are better on both lines. A lot of this. I'm sorry, but they've blown up this San Francisco defense all week. You take away Bosa on that.
Well, that's the big difference. If you were to say 1-for-1 on the line of all the players on both teams, Bosa's the best. But after Bosa, it's a huge drop off.
Nah, it's not right.
No, I'm saying for San Francisco.
Oh, yeah,
we got 4 guys who can
get in.
So I'd rather have 4 better guys, and they can have number 1. I'll take 2, 3, 4, and 5
right
with them. You know what I mean?
Right. And here's the thing too. Bosa, he runs himself out of lanes. It's been proven. Okay, and he's going against Lane Johnson. He's going against Lane Johnson, dude. Lane Johnson has to give up a sack in almost 3 full seasons.
Right.
So I'm not worried about it. And even if he switches sides, now he's got to go up against Mailata.
Right.
So I'm not worried about them. You don't think Kelsey and them are not going to be able to get a hat on there? The linebackers San Francisco linebackers are fast. You can definitely exploit that.
Right.
The Eagles can exploit that. The Eagles got fast people too. You know what I'm saying? So
you don't sit at the top of the mountain for no reason.
Right. And this is what I'm saying. I don't think I'm sorry. I think me and Al are in a little bit of agreement. I don't think it's going to be close.
I think it's going to be a little closer than my score has it looking like, but I think they're going to try to do some fancy long throw at the end, which Brock won't be able to pull off, and there'll be an extra point, and it might be like a pick 6 or something in that realm. But I have an 11. I honestly told you I would have loved to tease it up to 11 and see how much I could have won, but I don't like betting on my Eagles. I will not bet on my Eagles.
No.
But I have it an 11-point win.
I got it by 4. Yeah, between 11 and 14. Because I just don't think. I think the Eagles. I'm telling you, if this Eagles offensive line, I'm tired of hearing about this offensive line. Oh, they're number 1 against the rush. Well, guess what? Wasn't the Jaguars number 1 against the rush when they came in here?
What's that?
The Jaguars. They were number 1 against the rush when they came here to play the Eagles. Okay. 3 weeks later after that, Dallas was the number 1 rush defense. We put up yards on the Cowboys.
That's what I'm saying.
So don't make it seem like it can't be, Paul's got the Niners winning 27 or 29-27. He got the Bengals beating the Chiefs.
Ooh.
Spanky stole your line.
I love
Spank, believe it or not, she is a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Okay.
She's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And Mike Kaepernick says
he's got 13.
13. Yeah, I can see that. And you know what? I think Brock Purdy gets exposed a little bit. Yeah, I remember too. Gardner Johnson's moving back to safety today.
Yeah.
Avonte Maddox is back.
And Brock Purdy does not have a long pass.
No. Dude, and it's tailor-made for the Eagles. You can put Epps down in the box. And Epps can stay with him. And if you're worried about Epps getting beat, Anthony Harris is on the active
Right,
roster.
and good point by you. Al. I mean, that's what he's going to be looking for. Kittle over the middle. You know what I mean? That's going to be his whole game plan today.
His two security blankets are Kittle and McCaffrey out of the backfield.
And here, Anthony has a good point. He said the big difference will be Gainwell and Scott to hit the holes real fast. Because here's the thing: is Mitchell did not practice on Friday for the Niners. So, like Jason said earlier, you can't put it all on. And he was a little banged up too.
He's got a groin and calf. McCaffrey got a calf.
I think calf for him. Yeah, groin for Mitchell. And the groin's a big problem.
Yeah, with a groin, dude, you can't cut. Jason Kearney says
27 Eagles,
20.
San Fran 20.
Out of the box, 31.
19.
Somebody else must be running that account today because there's two different ones.
Yeah. Paul ain't giving you two. Paul's been on. I gotta give it to Paul. Paul's been on 29, 27. So, but I keep hearing about this. Right, Purdy hasn't faced our secondary. Mike is right here, dude. Like, their offense hasn't faced a defense like ours either.
No,
like every time they've gone up, the only defense that is close to the Eagles' defense, as believe it or not, was Denver. Okay, Denver runs a very similar style defense, and Denver shut them down this year.
Right.
Shut them down, and they don't have nowhere near an offense like the Eagles.
That's what I'm saying. And to me, just again, like a lot of these teams, they haven't seen a defense like the Birds. They haven't seen an offense. They don't know the creative, schemes that what's called comes up with.
I think Galen has a big passing day today.
Shane
I really
Steichen.
do. I think they do because I'm sorry, I saw DK Metcalf abuse that secondary in Geno Smith. If he had any type of a line, the Seattle Seahawks would have beat.
Again, you got
he had nobody. He had nobody.
You got Goddard, Smith, and AJ Brown. I mean, pick
and
your
that's
poison.
not even that, man. I think
your poison.
No, Quez Watkins going to get a touchdown today.
He might be that sleeper
Listen,
guy.
Remember last year, Quez had the 91-yarder against the same defense.
Mm-hmm.
The same defense. So I'm sorry. I don't think they have the offense to keep up with the Eagles, and I think that.
Well, that's the thing is, if the Eagles get a chance to get the ball first and strike first, like they get against the Giants, making the Niners work from behind will be huge for us. I'm not going to say whoever scores first will win the game, but it could be a big difference.
Just like that Giants game. You put them down. Like already, Dable was already confused. Like again, he was gambling on a fourth down play early.
Yeah, but listen, the Giants, dude, they were it was Barkley. Barkley's their whole team. Like, I'm sorry, their wideouts are trash. They have San Fran's got good wide receivers.
There goes our man Gary.
He's
Our Philly fan from the north.
There you go.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, guys, final predictions.
Final predictions.
Go ahead, 49er fan, you first.
I think it's going to be a 24. I'll say a 27-17 win.
I'm going to go. That was going to be my original score, but since I said around 11, I'm going to go 30-17.
I am going 28-17 Birds. And that's not just me being a homer. Like I said, I think it's going to be a little closer for most of the game. At the end, they're going to try to come back into it, and I think the Eagles will stop that, and it will be, I won't call it garbage time, but something like you kind of saw at the end. They'll let up a touchdown, and
the
it'll
best part about, like you guys were just mentioned a little earlier, the best part about these guys getting snubbed for everything, the ultimate goal is just forget it.
And I think
it's just like Embiid. Who cares? Don't win. Do you want to be on the All-Star game? Fine. Get angry, take it out on them, but get over it and focus on winning us a championship. How great would it be? We get to say Phillies went to the World Series, ultimately lost in the end. Eagles possibly go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, and then the next thing around we have the Sixers in the playoffs. I mean, Phillies being Philly, man, and we gotta love every last second because when was the last time we had this much success with 3 out of the 4 teams?
Right, exactly.
So,
all right, guys.
Well, listen, guys, don't forget you can check me out. I'm gonna give a plug. I'm gonna check me out Thursday night on Out of the Box Network. So make sure you check me out over there Thursday night, 8 o'clock. And of course, my man the Gobbler, he's all over.
Yeah,
he's all over here. And of course, Big Al, he's always doing his thing. And I'll see you guys at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, and real fast, guys, if you guys do want to talk some lacrosse wings today, check in my man Gary.
Over 30 minutes. They'll be on.
And
30 minutes, yeah. Great show, man. Them guys.
Double S, my man Sean Slot. Give those guys a check, man. Check them out. If you guys went to the Wings game on Friday and had a good time, you want to know something about Wings lacrosse or anything NL lacrosse, give those guys a check. Good guys. All right, guys, let's go load up some meat, beers, and all that good stuff.